In this video, I'm going to show how to view a code playback. So a code playback is a guided walkthrough of some code accompanied by a narrative explaining what's happening in it. Along the way, the author will show you how the code evolves, but more importantly, they will show you the pictures that are in their minds while writing the code. For beginners learning to code, being able to glimpse into an expert's mind helps one make connections much faster than if they only had the code alone. Let's start by looking at the main components of the playback interface. So firstly, we have the title. It's located at the top of the screen. And if you hover over it, you'll see a read time estimate. The title is also shown at the top of the very first comment. Now let's look at the main screen. It's split into two parts, a code window on the right and a comment window on the left. The code window shows the complete set of code, which might include multiple files. And this is different from traditional online tutorials that only show you snippets of the code and never let you view all of the code in its entirety. The comment window contains the author's narrative explaining how the code evolved. And you can adjust the split between these windows to suit your needs. Now let's talk about how to navigate through the playback. There's a play pause button at the bottom right of the screen. I'll hit that now. A playback author can choose important milestones in the development and can describe the code at the milestones. One option is to animate all of the code and see every single keystroke and file operation that the author made. Code is rarely written from left to right, top to bottom. A code playback shows the complete history of how a programmer wrote some code. The playback automatically pauses when a comment is encountered, and this gives you time to read the comment and look at the highlighted code. A single pause point may have multiple comments highlighting different parts of the code. So take your time and read all of the comments and the highlighted code. If you want to move more quickly to a certain point of the history, you can use the slider at the bottom of the screen. For keyboard enthusiasts, there are several controls available. The spacebar can be used to start and stop the animation of the code. The left and right arrow keys on your keyboard control moving one keystroke at a time. So together with the spacebar, you can move quite efficiently through a playback using just your keyboard. Another way to view the playback is by focusing on the comments. You can simply click on a comment and the code window will update to show the code at that point. And this is my preferred way of working through code playbacks. The thinking here is that the viewer only needs to focus on the code at the author's specified milestones, and the intermediate state of the code isn't terribly important. All of the changes since the last comment will be highlighted so that you can see what has changed and what has stayed the same. You'll notice pips under the slider. Each pip represents a group of comments made at a single point. You can click on these to jump to a specific comment group. There's also a next comment button at the bottom of the screen that will move you to the next comment. Now, if you prefer using your keyboard, you can use the shift and either the left or right arrow will move you to either the next or the previous comment. Control plus the shift plus the left or right arrow will move you either to the beginning or the end of the playback. Let's take a closer look at the comments themselves. Each comment has some text used to describe something about the code. And most comments also have an associated code highlight in the code window. And this is what the comment is describing. Some code highlights include a secondary highlight. This represents the relevant context surrounding the highlighted code. And typically this is what the author wants you to focus on so that you don't have to look beyond the secondary highlight. A great feature of code playbacks is that authors can add media to their comments. This could be images, videos, or audio files. You can click on an image to expand and zoom in. I often add whiteboard style drawings to show what the code is doing, as well as screenshots of a running program or design diagrams. I use video files to show running programs, more complex user interfaces, and talking head videos of myself explaining some code. To make playbacks more engaging for viewers, an author can add self-grading multiple choice questions. This allows a viewer to confirm that they're understanding the material in the playback. Most questions have an explanation that's revealed after you make a choice. Don't worry, the results of these questions aren't sent anywhere, so feel free to try as many times as you need. Tags are used for filtering comments out of the comment window. For example, if you're reviewing a playback and you only want to see the comments with multiple choice questions, then you click on the question tag and only those comments with the tag will be displayed. You can do the same for other tags as well. There are tags for media types like images, videos, and audio files, questions, and author-supplied tags like all tests pass. There's an advanced feature in addition to using tags. One can search for some text in the comments or in the highlighted code. This shows every comment that has that search text in it, or it shows every comment that has that search text in the highlighted code. If you only want to search through the comments, you can alter the search query. And this will just show the comments that have that text. Or if you only want to search the comments where that query is in the code, you can do that like this. And this will filter comments to only show those the author highlighted with that code. Lastly, there's a selected text search that allows a viewer to see all of the comments relating to a block of code. So I can select a whole function and then hit Control-Shift-S, that automatically sets the search bar, to start a selected text search. Now all the comments are filtered to find only the ones where some of the selected text was highlighted by the author. This works on big blocks, but it also works for any individual line. These are the only two comments that have this line in the highlighted code. One of the most exciting features is the AI assistant. This can answer questions about the code that the author hasn't addressed. Now it turns out that AI assistants are quite good at understanding code, and they can help a viewer get up to speed without needing to wait for help from another person. On the Playback Press website, we record all the questions that you ask and the AI assistant's answers, so that later you can go back and reinforce what you've learned from the playback. You can also ask the assistant to generate an endless supply of self-grading multiple choice questions for you automatically. And this is a really cool feature and should give you confidence that you're understanding the material. Next, I'll go over a few last features in the comment window. In the comment window, you'll find a File System tab. This shows the state of the file system at any point in the playback. You can click the file names to move to different files, and there are also file tabs in the code window to do the same. You can download the code at any point in the playback and build from it. A zip file is created and downloaded when you click the download button with all the code in the current state. The Playback Options tab allows you to increase the size of the code in the code window. And this is really nice for presenting code playbacks to others. There's also a keyboard combination that allows you to do this, Control-Shift and the up and down arrows. You can also speed up or slow down a playback from this tab. And it also has a summary of all the keyboard controls. Finally, for those viewing on small screen, there's what I call blog mode. So you go up to the top right part of the screen and click this icon. It has all the same information, but it is a much more traditional web-based tutorial format. The highlights and the secondary highlights determine which code gets shown in blog mode. And there you have it. That's how to view and make the most out of a code playback.